Hello, fifth graders. Happy to have you back today to continue our study of rotational symmetry. Today, as you can see, we're going to learn how to calculate the amount of rotation. All right, what do I mean by the amount of rotation? All right, let's take a rectangle. All right, now we know it has rotational symmetry because if we turn it that much, it ends up back in the same place. The question is, how much did we have to turn it? Well, that's not too hard to figure out. It started here, and we're going to do it by fractions. You see I have the circle cut up into fourths. So if we turned it this much, that would have been 1/4 turn. We turned it this much, that was 2/4 of a turn. And of course, 2/4 of a turn equals 1/2 turn. So the amount of rotation for this shape right here is 1/2 turn. Okay, let's try another shape. Let's try this shape. It's a square, all right? And so if I turn it 1/4 turn, it's back to the same orientation. So a square, we would say, has 1/4 turn is the amount of rotation you need. This shape here is known as a hex nut. It's called a hex nut because it's a hexagon. It has 6 sides. So I can turn it 6 times. So if I turn it this way, this much, until it's back to the same orientation, let me start over again. I lost where I was. If I start it here and I turn it 1/6 of a turn, it's back to the same orientation. So it has 1/6 turn is the amount of rotation. Okay? That's the main thing for today, is knowing how much it has to turn. Now sometimes they're going to ask you, instead of having it in fractions, they're going to ask you to put it in degrees. All right? And as you know, if you start a circle from the starting point right there, and we measure this much of an angle, that's a 90-degree turn. If you go all the way half around, that's another 90 degrees. 90 plus 90 is 180. If you go another 90 degrees, another quarter turn, it comes out to be 270 degrees. And of course, you go all the way around, that is 360 degrees. All right. So on our rectangle, which had half turn symmetry, we know that a half turn is 180 degrees. Okay. For our square, which only needed a quarter turn, if you remember this shape, it goes like this. And you turned it this much, a quarter turn. A quarter turn, of course, is 90 degrees. Our hex nut went 1/6 of a turn. So you have to figure out what is 1/6 of a circle. So 1/6 of a circle is 1/6 times the 360 degrees. Or you could just do the 360 degrees divided by 6, because if you go around 6 times, if you turn it 6 times, you're going to get the 360 degrees, and it turns out to be 60 degrees. So 1/6 of a turn is 60 degrees. Okay. So sometimes they'll ask you to do it in fractions, and sometimes they'll ask you to do it in degrees, but it's easy to change from one to the other. That's it for today.